These are people that do not understand this product. What's the point of me charging you $4 or $5 and then you waiting 90 days or 6 months? If I can just be honest with you, it's all bullshit. So what are we talking about? Now, let's get an understanding of what this process is, setting up a corporation, what it's all about. And I'm gonna really make this make sense. You remember when you were born, there's 2 things that your parents had to do. You got a birth certificate from your state, and then after that, after a couple of days, you went to the Social Security office and they gave you a Social Security card. And then you became a legitimate person. You were actually recognized, right? That's how it works, right? And with those 2 documents, you were able to eventually get an ID, and then now you can go to the bank and get a bank account, and they're gonna ask you for your social, and then eventually your social is tied to your credit report and all this other stuff. You see how that goes out, right? It's basically the same exact thing when you're talking about forming a business. Because in the United States, a business has just as many rights as an individual. The only difference between you and a business, Mr. Ernesto, is a business cannot vote. But a business can do every single thing you can do, okay? So now, why do people form a business? Is because of liability purposes. You want, it's tax reasons, liability purposes, whatever it is. So what happens is, in order for you to birth a business, if I can use that analogy that I gave you whenever you were born. So you birth a business, the business, it births right here. It's born in your brain, if you want to call it that. And then eventually you have to register it. So you go to the Secretary of State. This is like whenever your mom applied for your birth certificate. You go to the New York Secretary of State or whatever the state that you're in, and you have to file an LLC or an LLP or whatever it is. There's different types of corporations, but let's just simplify it. Most people just go ahead and form a limited liability company, and you pay the state a fee. Usually the state charges between $50, or I think New York, they charge like $200. Let me see. Filing fee. It looked like they charge $50. I thought I saw $200 somewhere. Hold on. Send the completed article of additional filing fee, $200 to pay. Okay. Filing fee.
I want to mention, I think in 2000, I started up a corporation. At the time, I think I was renting out cars to car service drivers. It lasted like a year. Yeah. And I did it with an insurance company that I knew, and he set it up and everything, and I paid for it. It lasted like a year, and I just let it go. Matter of fact, I think I sold it because it was doing really bad with the employees or something. But
okay. So what's the name of the corporation?
It was
okay.
And then people would tell me, having it for so long that you can still use it, but then they said, well, the cost you have to pay in taxes, it's just better getting a new one. So it's just been sitting there. I don't know. I think that, like everybody said, just start a new one. The shelf life is really.
You can start a new one if you want to, but you basically go. The point as I was explaining, you go to the state, and the state goes ahead and you file the corporation. That's like your birth certificate, and then eventually you go to the IRS, and then you get an EIN number issued to the corporation. That's like your Social Security number. And that gives you the ability now to go and get a merchant account, get a bank account, and so forth and so on. As it pertains to your question for a registered agent, each state requires that you have somebody that they can notify in case of legal issues or whatever it is that owns that corporation, because a corporation is people. That is what they consider a quote unquote registered agent. Some states require that you have a third party registered agent. In some states, you can become the registered agent for your corporation. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, the big problem I'm having now is like different people are saying different things. Like they say, oh, you're going to need a business address and you can't be yourself. You can't have a P.O. box. You have to have a registered agent and you have to have it published. So that's like the only thing that's been holding me back. Like, should I go with this person or that person or try to do it on my own, but I still need their services. So I'm just trying to find the right way just to start over. Because everybody's saying different things about what is actually needed to be legal or.
You can become your own registered agent in New York. So you don't need a third party registered agent. And it's going to cost you $200 to form a corporation in New York, just FYI. But you can be your own registered agent.
Okay. What about the other thing about having, I think for business funding, they say, oh, you're going to need the website and a professional email. And the address has to be a business address. that it can't be your home, and it has to be verifiable by the city, the 800 number. So it's like, are all those things actually needed, or it's not needed for the business funding? That's what I'm trying to do to correct things.
I'm going to say two parts to that answer. I'm going to send you a video that I did, and I'm going to explain to you every one of those things.
Okay.
Let me show you here. Where's this video that I did on business credit? Here. No, that's not the one. I'll find it now.
Like even the name, like this, I was talking to this company called Prime Corporate Services, and it was like, oh, it can't be more than 12 letters or something like that.
That's a bunch of BS.
Yes, and everything I was saying, like, oh no, that's too long. You can't put this, you can't put that. Wow, okay. So I think I had to finally come out with like a few initials, and then he was just waiting to see if we're gonna go through with it. So that's like, I don't know what is real, what isn't. I just want to start it and move on with it.
Okay. So number one, the name does matter to a certain degree. Lenders frown upon a few different industries: pawn shop, strip clubs, funding companies like us. They do not like these type of industries. Another thing is some industries are affected when the ups and downs of that industry happens. Let me make it make sense. During the real estate crash in 2008, if you were a real estate company, you were considered to be a high risk. That's just common sense, right? So,
Yes.
Because real estate was down at the time. So if you had a company named Ernesto Realty Group, yes, you're going to be considered a high risk at that specific time. So you want to stay away from such names that are very. Hopefully, this makes sense.
Yes.
But
Understand.
don't really complicate it as much. A lot of people just try to complicate this a little bit too much. So hopefully that clarifies the thing about the name. Don't call yourself Ernesto Porn House or whatever it is. Don't call yourself, like pawn shops. These are considered high risk companies. Credit card processing industries. These are considered high risk companies. Like check cashing and stuff like that. Ernesto. So these are industries that you want to stay away from,
Yes.
as far as it pertains to names, if you want to call it that. Have something very generic. You can just Ernesto Ventures. You can't even tell what the hell that means. What does that mean? So yes, do consider the name, but as far as how long or how many letters, that's a bunch of BS. That's just people just doing a little bit too much. Now, as it pertains to the address, this used to be a thing, but it's not anymore. And I'm gonna make it make sense. Let me just show you this. Lenders do not want you to use PO boxes on your application, a Bank of America business credit card. Let me just show you. And you will see it. They actually show it on the application. They do not like PO boxes. And they do not want you to use a PO box. This is an application. Do you see that section that says no PO boxes, please?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of people used to use PO boxes and all this stuff, and it's just too much scamming stuff from Nigeria has happened that lenders want to have a real address. Now, there used to be a time where, as it pertains to clout, credibility, if you had a corporate address, you looked more of like a legitimate business than if you didn't. After COVID, none of this stuff matters. A lot of people running $1 million businesses from home. It's not a big deal at all. And in addition to that, a lot of these business credit building, coaching, or whatever it is, they started using these virtual addresses where they tell you, well, just get this virtual address and it's a corporate office and you're going to pay this much a month and it's going to look like a... Lenders catch on to all of this stuff, okay? So they can tell if you're using a BS address. They can tell. Just like, for example, it used to be a time where if you had bad credit, all you had to do was to just get an authorized user account, and then you buy 2 or 3 authorized user accounts and go out there and you can get qualified for like 20 to 30,000. You remember them times? We were talking about that. That stuff is over. Okay, let me see. FICO score update on authorized users. So FICO came up with an authorized user account, both positive and negative. Yeah. FICO came up with a scoring update that they notice a lot of people, if they see that a credit report is heavily supported by authorized user accounts, it actually kicks him off the equation. And it doesn't take him into account as it pertains to calculating the FICO score. And there's a video that I created. I'm gonna send you that video as well, that talks about this stuff. So what am I trying to express to you is a lot of people that talk about this stuff, they're talking about it and they're just regurgitating a bunch of stuff that they heard somewhere else and they don't understand why they're saying what they're saying, if that makes any sense. Okay?
Yes.
But so I can kind of align things as it pertains to the name, business address, and you just trying to set up your business correctly. Number one, the name, stay away from the areas that I just talked to you about. Make sure the name is very generic, something that doesn't fix you into a specific industry or a specific niche. Just be very generic with the name. Number two, as far as the address, if you have a business corporate address, yes, good, use it. But don't go out there with all this funny stuff, getting a virtual address. You cannot use a PO box. If all you have is your home address, just use your home address. There's a ton of businesses right now being run from home. When you're applying for any type of financing, when it comes to your business, the lender is going to want to verify two things. They're going to want to verify who you are, and they're going to want to verify the business itself. How do they do this? They verify who you are by your social and an ID. And they also verify the address based on your ID has to have your current address. And if that's not the case, they're going to request a recent utility bill. They're very specific. They don't want a credit card statement. They don't want any other bill other than a utility bill. A utility bill is something that, in order for you to get a utility bill, sometimes you usually have to go at a physical place, but they have to verify your identity before they turn on the utility. That's why they use that as a form of identity verification. That's how they identify the individual. How do they verify the corporation? They verify the corporation by the SS4 form, which is the EIN letter that you receive from the IRS. They're going to look at the corporate name. They're going to look at the corporate address on there. They also can verify by looking at the Secretary of State and looking at the information on there. You want to make sure that all this information is consistent. Whatever they have with Secretary of State, it's whatever they have with the IRS, it's whatever is reflected on your documents, it's whatever addresses you're going to be using to submit the application. If these addresses change, fill out a change of address form with the IRS and also with the Secretary of State. So it's consistency is what you need to focus on, but none of all these fugazi, funny acts that people kind of come up with right now. Just come up with a good name, make sure you have an address that's consistent, make sure you have good credit as far as based on the four factors. When we're talking about getting financing, especially credit card financing, and you're going to be doing just fine. Because at the end of the day, all these funny stuff we're talking about is for us to be more attractive to lender finance, right? That's the whole goal for doing all this funny stuff.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yes. I want to do it as soon as possible, actually.
Well, let's do it. Like I said, what is it? In New York, I think we just noticed on there they charge $200. You can form a corporation in New York, no problem. I'm not sure how long it takes. It just depends on how long, how slow they are at the Secretary of State. But that's something that we can absolutely do.
There's a question right where you did that. Just had it. Oh, a lot of people also pushing like Credit Suite. They're pushing, you can get a business credit, all the financing off an EIN and not with the personal credit. And they say we can do that in a few months. In 6 months, you can have 200,000. And
bullshit. I'm sending you some cool videos that I want you to check out. And let me just do this. And so I'm sending you these videos, and these are going to be very dope because it's very similar to our topic here. And this is going to clarify a bunch of stuff. So this is watch this about building business credit. And I'm going to emphasize in much detail what really affects your business credit score. I talk here about, a lot of these old tactics that people are using, some of that corporate address and this is the name. And I justify it with facts. And keep in mind, I'm actively getting people money. So I'm not just doing this and I'm talking all this fugazi stuff that I learned in some conference later that is probably not, working in real life. I'm doing this for, right now. These are some videos that I created about credit card stacking. And this is one of the videos that I talk about those coaches that are telling people to pay them up front and then they're going to guarantee the funding. And this is what the major problem is with these coaches. Like, for example, for you, let me just give you an example here. You're an excellent candidate for this. I can tell you right now, based on the credit that you've described to me, that you cannot qualify for business credit cards. You cannot. There's no magical wand I can swing at you for you to qualify in 3 to 6 months. There's nothing. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing. I can't do anything. I can't make thing disappear. I just can't. And with that thing on there, without you, because this is how lenders justify what somebody's going to get approved for. Let me just, and I don't want you to believe me. I'm just going to ask you some questions so it makes sense. If I walked into the Bank of Ernesto, you're the CEO of this bank, and I was asking you for $50,000 in unsecured credit, basically just meaning based on my signature. CEO Ernesto, would you be curious as to what my past unsecured credit history looks like?
Not just the past credit history. I would ask for collateral. I would ask for assets. I would ask for everything.
Exactly. So exactly. And this specific product though, but most importantly, you want to know, okay, dude, you want $50,000. How much have you been able to handle in the past? You see what I'm saying? So what am I trying to say? And if you can look at this utilization in this chart here, mainly what dictates how much you can get. Of course, the lender is going to make sure that you don't have any negative items. That's a common sense. Okay. Of course, the lender is going to make sure that you have at least some type of seasoned credit. You're not like a young college student. You see what I'm saying? Of course, the lender is going to make sure and see you don't have a bunch of inquiries, because it goes back to that old joke. Banks only lend money to people who don't look like they need money. So these are all common sense, right? Now, what dictates how much you can actually qualify for is based on your previous history. As you can see right here, we look at the high past balance, okay? So the problem that I have with all these coaching programs is they're gonna look at a guy like you and they're gonna be like, Ernesto, give me $5,000, give me $3,500, I'll get you $50,000 to $100,000 in 6 months. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And then in 6 months, they're gonna say it's your fault because you have on there. Dude, I had that thing on there. So that's the issue. There's no magic to what I do. I simply understand what the lenders are looking for, and it's all common sense. It's just common sense. It's not nothing any funny fugazi stuff. That's why and one thing I hate about it, part of my mission with the way I approach this YouTube stuff, if you hear me, I started my YouTube channel talking crap about other people because I'm just so sick of people being lied to. Right now we've been talking about this stuff, and people like you are just trying to get some information to make all this stuff make sense. But there's all this, you gotta have the name has this letters on it, and none of this stuff makes any sense. And then you got, the address can be a virtual address, it can be a home address. This is old information that doesn't matter anymore. So it's I came at this to try to make this stuff make sense, and people take advantage of people by all this old ass information that doesn't matter anymore. That's kind of what my mission behind is, to make this stuff make sense. So even you're gonna really appreciate some of those videos that I talk about business credit. And like I said, I don't want people to believe anything that I say. Does it make sense what you believe or what I'm trying to teach here? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the approach that I have with all of this.
Well, one point I want to make is when you talk about the business credit and setting up the business properly and helping people, set up their business, it also makes you an expert in saying, okay, now I know what's needed, what they look for. Now I know I can go buy my own businesses on the side. Let's say I'm great at real estate. Maybe I can get a construction company or a plumbing company or something, or a property management company to manage my properties. So now that also helps buying your own properties. Not the own property, own businesses, and setting them up, and even using, like you call it, the business credit to have a down payment. Because they talk about you can get a business with no money down, but that's really seller financing. But you can also get, part of the down payment, and now you know how to fund them correctly. So it all helps, not just being a middleman to get the money for other people, but also helps being an expert to say, okay, now I know how to buy these businesses and combine all these together and at the same time. So I think that's really an expert. One question I wanted to ask you when it comes back to commercial lending, let's say for real estate. And I know I asked this to somebody years ago. I said, where I live in everything is becoming a condo. It's like a 1, 2, 3 family. Now they're making it into a 6 family, 50 family, 100 family condo buildings. Multi-million-dollar buildings. How do you become from start to offering financing to these companies? Is it through marketing like LinkedIn, or just something through word of mouth and takes years to build up that credibility or something? Because it's everywhere from where I'm living that they're doing these kind of projects.
Okay, I made a video on this, and I'm gonna give you the short answer, but I'm gonna send this to you. How to generate leads as a business loan broker. I did this video 3 weeks ago. So I'm gonna throw this, and the specific question is, how do you get these people to send you some business so you can help fund these loans? That's what you're asking, right?
Well, I understand how to get, like the little ones, but like where I live, I see these multi-million. Matter of fact, there's one where I live now is a multi-billion-dollar like thing. Like they built this whole city, like just these big buildings. So how do you get to those kind of deals? Even though
you get to those type of deals, Ernesto. People do business with people that they know and like. Why the hell would that person send you that deal? Who the hell are you? You understand what I'm saying? So I say that sarcastically, but for me, number one, you need to prove yourself in this industry. You need to shake the right hands. You need to educate the market. I have really good referral partners that send me a lot of this big stuff. I got a guy in New York that works at a merchant cash advance company, and he always works with clients. He helps them fund it, and sometimes they need real estate and he can't help them out. It's relationships, Ernesto. It's just relationships. That's just basically what it is. And again, nobody's going to really give you such a deal unless you prove yourself in the marketplace. How do you prove yourself in the marketplace? You need to offer something of value. I recently started doing this thing while I was coaching people like yourself on how to get into this industry. I created an awesome program. You're going through it right now. But what really convinced you to buy? You spent $500 with me, man, right? Let's just look at it like this. You spent, and why did you do that? I offered you value. You watch some of my YouTube videos and you're like, damn, this guy, you know what? That makes sense. I think that, he actually taught me something. And then eventually you felt like, all right, I'm going to take the next step and I'm going to give him a little bit of my money. I'm going to pop out my wallet and I'm going to spend, So in essence, I offer value to the marketplace, and I talk about on that video, there's only two ways on how to generate leads. It's either you invest time by shaking the right hands, by going to these networking events, by, going to the BBB, joining, some type of business, networking in your local area. You're in the New York area, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you got to spend some time. You got to shake the right hands. You got to reach the right type of people. I talk about it on that video. When I started doing this, I reached out to accountants. I reached out to realtors. I reached out to bank managers. I reached out to appraisers. And these are people that were interacting with my clients on a daily basis. An accountant is doing their taxes. Dude, when they need money. All right, let me educate you on these products. And when your clients need money, send them to me and I'll give you a little kickback. The realtor, dude, you're selling houses. You're showing them these houses. Dude, increase your closing percentage. But now when you show them the houses, tell them that you got a guy that can give them the funding. And if I fund them, I'll give you a little bit of money. The title companies, and again, you got to buy some donuts. You got to go some coffee. So that has never changed or you got to make some YouTube videos like me. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to invest your time, or you got to have a big wallet and turn on Facebook marketing or turn on YouTube marketing and spend $100 a day attracting people, but at the end of the day, you're either going to invest time or invest money. And then after that, prove yourself, get some reviews. And maybe that guy that's that broker down the street that does those big buildings that you said, they're going to reach out to Ernesto. Because, if money is everything. Money is what moves the world. So if you can offer people some funding, but right now they're not going to work with you. Who the hell are you?
I understand. I used to be a realtor in the 90s, and they used to have these meetings with mortgage brokers and, hey, we offer this, we can do this. And if you refer your clients to us, we can give you a cutback or something. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But
so that's basically it. That's basically it, And like I said, I've taken the approach of I don't beg for business. I try to educate my customers. And if I can educate you in a way, I'm trying to influence you to do business with me, just like I did with you. Yes. I educated you, So I want you to look at your target people that you want to do business with. You want to do business with that guy that is brokering those deals around your area. You want to do business with some of those realtors. You see their signs. You see that stuff out there. You see their names. What's stopping you from getting their email and coming up with a really powerful, check this out. We just talked about it right now. And you're going to see it in this course. When I talk about this whole class, when I talk about real estate funding matrix, you're going to see what stops you by creating a video and sending it to Jeff or Henry or whatever the hell that person is that you saw that sign down the street and be like, hey, man, I saw your sign down the street. And I wanted you to know I offer real estate. This is a little short matrix that I created just for you to kind of give you an idea of all the different products that we offer. We offer things from permanent financing to even short-term financing. I can do loans as small as 6 months. If you got a guy looking for a bridge loan, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, we got you, and send him a video, a personal video, But again, you have to dedicate that time. You have to stop in the office and be like, dude, let me buy you coffee. Let me get you a donut. And eventually it's human nature. They're going to throw a bone at you. And then when they throw you a bone, perform. Okay.
Yeah, it's so much information to go through. Yes. So many points.
Yes.
Yeah.
But let's not complicate it. I want you to kind of work on for the next couple of weeks is, number one, get through this first module. I want you to know and master this thing called the 3 parts of lending, and understand the different products, understand the different matrix, and understand all the different products that you can offer. Number two, you need to go ahead and complete the incorporation application on what, so we can go ahead and file your corporation. So I'm gonna send you the app, and like I said, we don't charge anything, but this is what you need to fill out. You need to come up with a name, address. You're the registered agent, so don't get yourself confused. We already looked that up. And in New York, you can become your own registered agent. It's going to cost you $200. That's the state filing fee for New York in order to get this done. So 2 things. Your homework, corporation, application. Your homework is 2 things. I need you to finish module 1, and I need you to go ahead and get this application filled out. Don't overthink it. Just come up with some reasonable name. Go to ChatGPT if you want to ask ChatGPT what the name is. Just come up with a name. Get a computer and get it done.
And they were just saying it was too long or something, I was like, well, all right. Something like Baltic Street Enterprises or Ventures.
Yes.
And they were saying, no, it's too many. You got to come up with something smaller.
No, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay?
Yes.
Anyway, I got to get ready for another call. Hopefully I was able to answer your questions. Definitely. Go ahead.
Quick question. There's, I believe her name is Mary or something. The one who.
Yes.
Okay. So if any questions, like quickly, I can ask her or something.
Yes and no. Mary is she's my project manager, but she's more so on the techie side. She does all the marketing stuff for you. She's going to create your landing page, kind of help you get started on all that techie stuff. Okay. Any questions that you have about funding products or anything like that goes over her head. She doesn't do any of the funding stuff. So you're going to need to schedule another call. I want to talk to you at the end of each module. So you need to get through module 1. We need to have another conversation like this. Definitely go through any questions you have about what you finished and then address any questions like what we just discussed today. So if you have any questions for us, techie stuff and your landing page and all that stuff, that's Mary. But any funding questions, you want to direct those to me.
If I want to do to start with my girlfriend with her credit check and everything, how do I start with that? Okay. To do the program with business funding, to start that process.
I'm gonna send you an email for I need a recent copy of her credit report.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna send you an email on how to pull credit. It's gonna be responding to you, but you're gonna get a link on there. The point is for you to get that link, and she can use that link to pull her credit report. I think it's the Identity IQ is our affiliate that we use. It's gonna cost her $1 to pull that credit report. Get that credit report pulled, get that sent to me, and I'll be able to kind of tell you exactly what she qualifies for. That's going to be so dope because I will plug all her credit report into that CCP, that document that I just shared with you, and I'll tell you how we came to the conclusion as to what she's going to qualify for.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, and that's dope. I really appreciate it. Let me see, follow up on girlfriend's credit report. I got some follow-ups here to check on you next Monday. We're going to be talking about the status, where you at on the course. I need that application back so we can get your corporation filed and then give me girlfriend's credit report so we see where she's at now. And even if she's not where she needs to be right now, we need to go ahead and start working on that, getting her where she needs to be. I would urge you to pull your credit report as well so we can see what the hell we need to do to make the necessary adjustments. Let's not just worry about that child support thing. We can still build on that. Okay.
That's great. Yes.
Yeah, so, and his report. So I got the follow up here to also check on your report as well. All right.
All right.
I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
No problem at all. You have a good one. Anyway, if you stay with me through the end, I appreciate you. I really do. Please go ahead and give me a like to the video, subscribe to the channel. And I guess I should go ahead and pay some bills. Let you know what this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Broker Solutions Academy. There's going to be a link in the description. We work with people that are interested in becoming a business loan broker. We have a very comprehensive business loan broker course, and we're going to be teaching you everything you need to know about how to become a business loan broker. Our mission statement is we help business loan brokers understand and simplify the various funding solutions that are available in the marketplace so you can properly serve your clients, stop the endless confusion and self-defeating pointless rat race they're currently in, and grow their business while maximizing profits by teaching them how to become a real business loan broker, not just a referral partner. This video is also brought to you by Pennington Consulting Group, and that's where we work directly with entrepreneurs and also business owners to help them get funded. So if you're looking to start, grow, or even expand your current business, Pennington Consulting Group, there's going to be a link in the description where you can go ahead and schedule a time. And like we always say at Pennington Consulting Group, our goal is to help you reach your goal. Again, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.